talk about the strike that's happening at Temple University. Now, as someone who worked in higher ed, I was an academic advisor for over 10 years. I can tell you that the way that the grad students are paid and some of the benefits that they get, it's not much. I was also a grad student at one point in time. I didn't make much. The benefits were far and few. And so over the past couple of years, more grad students have felt like they need to be guaranteed some type of benefits. And I agree with them. When you're a grad student, you're in a tricky position. You're not an undergrad student. So you don't really get the same full benefits that undergrad students get. But at the same time, you're not really staff. You're not really administration. So you don't get the full-time benefits that they get. You're a student, but you're a graduate student, which means you're at this point in your life where a lot of people have bills. Like you have to pay your rent, like all that kind of stuff. You have roommates, yada, yada. And you need health care. And Temple University, which is a good school, by the way. This is not like some podunk crappy school. Temple University is a really good school. They have a lot of money that comes into this university. It's in Center City, Philadelphia. And not only do they not want to pay these kids what they should be paid, or these adults, I should say, but they're trying to take their benefits away because they went on strike. Let's get into it. Now, Breakthrough News, they captured this. I want to go ahead and show this video clip here.
Temple graduate workers are on strike and demanding livable wages. This is part of a growing trend of graduate workers' strikes across the country. 2022 saw the nation's largest higher education strike ever, with 48,000 workers striking at the University of California.
I covered that strike when they had this one at the University of California, and I thought they should have held out for more, but they went ahead and accepted the deal that was offered to them. But given the fact that it is expensive to live in California, I think they should have held out for more money and more benefits. That's just my take on it.
Temple students say their poverty wages forced them to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. The strike was called after more than a year of failed negotiations. The administration responded to the strike by removing health care benefits and tuition remission of strikers.
They removed, and I'm going to show you a close-up of this, they removed health care benefits and tuition remission. So for some people, if you're taking graduate courses at the university, and let's say you also work at the university, or you were offered some type of tuition remission, maybe by a company that you work for, whatever reason, that means that you basically get a refund. Whatever you paid towards your classes, you get that money refunded back to you. So the university is trying to punish these guys that have decided to go on strike for higher wages and better benefits by removing their health care. And I want to be very clear about this. In this country, that should be illegal. Why should it be illegal? Because your health insurance, for most of us, is tied to your employer. This gives your employer leverage over you. It should be against the law in this country that if you go on strike, your employer can remove your health care benefits. Everyone has the right to health care. Everyone. What happens if one of these grad students gets sick and they can't go to the doctor because they're not insured? Or they go to the doctor, they go to the ER, which a lot of times people who are uninsured, that's what they'll do. They'll go to the ER. They'll go to the ER. Now they got a medical bill that they can't pay with the wages that you paid them because the wages are too low to begin with anyway, which is why they're on strike. The university did this. Very embarrassing for Temple University. They should be ashamed of themselves. This school gets a lot of money. Let's go on. I'll give you a close-up of that too, so you'll be able to see it closer.
They've also threatened to have international student workers deported.
That again also should be illegal. And this is the reason why some international students are afraid to speak up. If they're being mistreated, they're afraid to say anything. If their landlords are, they get a slumlord, which we have a lot of those here in the Boston area. If they have a slumlord, they're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to speak up of any type of injustice because they're afraid that they'll be threatened with deportation, even though they're here on a student visa. You can't do this to these kids. This is embarrassing. The administration at Temple University, you should hang your head in shame. The president of Temple University, you should step down. This should never be allowed. These kids should not have to sit up here and be afraid to fight for worker rights because you are going to deport them.
Hundreds of undergrad students have attended the rallies in support, and many have refused to attend classes staffed by strikebreakers. In response to students respecting the picket line, Temple has threatened to not allow them to graduate.
That should also be illegal. Telling these kids that they can't graduate because they're not willing to break the line. None of this sounds legal to me. None of it. And I sincerely hope that these grad students get one hell of a lawyer and that they need to file some type of a class action lawsuit against this university. I sincerely hope.
Workers plan to hold a mass rally this week as they continue to keep up the pressure on Temple.
Temple has been unionized. We can see your green side.
So NPR covered this a little bit more extensively here. Temple University cuts tuition and health benefits for striking graduate students. I want to remind you guys, most grad students are broke. When I was in grad school, I was broke. Okay. I was making I started off making $12 an hour, then eventually $13 an hour. I mean, I wasn't eating at like no Outback Steakhouse. They're broke. A lot of them are eating Top Ramen, Easy Mac, things like that. And they still have to pay rent. So the way they're being treated here, this is disgusting. So it says some research and teaching assistants at the public school in Philadelphia received an email notice on Wednesday that their tuition remission had been revoked for the spring semester. As a result of your participation in the University Graduate Students Association strike, tuition remission, a benefit offered by many schools to help finance employees' tuition costs, covers an average of $20,000 at Temple, according to the university. Temple is now requiring that grad students pay their tuition balance by March 9th to stay enrolled in classes or else accrue a $100 late fee. So first of all, where are they supposed to get the money to pay their tuition when you're already paying them low wages anyway? And then on top of that, if they don't do it, you're going to charge them a $100 late fee? Do you see what I told you guys before about these universities? We have to stop calling them schools. They're not schools. It's a business. That's all it's about. All these universities want money, 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 money. They want to pay the grad students very little, but they want to pay the presidents at these universities millions and hundreds and thousands of dollars. The president of Boston University makes $2 million a year. The president of Harvard University makes over $700,000 a year, but they want to pay the grad students and the staff as well, by the way. They want to pay them very little. Now, I want to show you here, Madison Ingram, she shared this. She said, for my convenience, it says, oh, I didn't need to do that, I guess. Oh, I guess I did. Dear Temple student, as a result of your participation in the TUCSA strike, your tuition remission has been removed for the spring semester. You now owe the full balance listed in 2Pay, which is due by Thursday, March 9th. If your balance is not paid in full by the due date, you will be assessed a $100 late payment fee and a financial hold will be placed on your student account. This hold will prevent future registration. By the way, when you have a financial hold placed on your account, you can get different holds in higher ed. You can get one for finance. You can get one for, there's like different student forms that you have to do. Like, and if you don't do them on time, you can get a hold for that. Like, so you can get holds for different reasons, right? If you have a financial hold on your account, you can't do anything. So like your university ID, you might not be able to get into the library. You can't do anything. That's how they get you. This hold will prevent future registration. See, there you go. That's another thing. You can't register. For your convenience, you make payment online by clicking this. For your convenience. This is the bursar's office. This is where all the money goes. They collect the checks. That's what the bursar's office does. This is a hot mess, you guys. What they're doing to these kids. Let me go on. Employers threatening to cut off benefits is not uncommon, but actually doing it is. That's from Bethany, a member of the negotiating committee and former president of TUGSA. I was very, very disappointed to see that Temple is continuing these union busting tactics rather than sitting down and negotiating for a contract with us. Grad students took to the picket lines on January 31st after over a year of stalled negotiations between Temple and the graduate student union. Over a year, they tried. The union is accusing the school of paying wages that fail to cover Philadelphia's cost of living. TUGSA has not responded to NPR's emails and direct messages. Of course they haven't. Temple said in a statement on Thursday that students were warned that taking part in the strike and not showing up to work would cause them to lose their full compensation package, which includes tuition assistance and free health insurance. No, you should not. First of all, the health insurance isn't free. FYI, you're still paying for it. Second of all, you do not remove someone's health insurance because they're striking for higher wages. That is ridiculous. Under Pennsylvania law, the workers who refuse to work are not entitled to compensation and work-related benefits, the university said. So just because the state has that law doesn't mean you have to actually implement it. Temple said that about 20% of union-affiliated graduate students have lost their benefits after going on strike, with the majority remaining on the job. Comiskey told NPR the number of students on strike is at least twice the number Temple is reporting. In the past couple of days, she said anger over the benefit cuts has spurred more people to join the picket line. The union, which represents about 750 TAs and RAs, is proposing an annual base wage of $32,800, up from the current $19,500 average salary graduate students receive. Temple's proposal raises the base salary for graduate employees to $22,500 by 2026. Guys, by 2026, I would say about half of them won't even be a grad student there anymore by 2026. So the fact that they're paying them $19,500 a year, that's nothing. That's nothing. No wonder that, of course, you see why they're on strike? Union members are also calling for expanded parental leave beyond the current 5 days allotted, as well as affordable family health care, which they say can cost up to 86% of their salaries. So they're paying them a little over $19,000. And then it seems like the family care and the health care is costing them 86% of their salaries, which means the rest of it is going to rent. I've never known a year of grad school where I haven't had to take out some form of debt to be able to support myself nearby. I worry about things like being able to afford basic necessities, being able to afford my medical bills. When I worked at MIT, I used to do a lot of events for the students, a lot of social events. I would always have food at the events. Some of the kids, like, they didn't have the money to feed themselves the way that they should be fed. So doing those events for them, they love that. They're like, yay, free food. And I was always telling them, take some home with you. Take some home with you. Grad students live for that. Very sad state of affairs that we have with our educational system in this country. Temple said that students who return to work can get their benefits restored immediately. They are holding their health care hostage and their tuition remission hostage unless they're willing to continue to receive that $19,500, which is nothing. Here's another one here from Support Tucson. Seems like Temple is getting Tucson members health insurance as they threatened to do without any warning whatsoever. Pharmacy told me this morning I was not insured. See, there's a termination date there, January 31st, 2023. Just to confirm, this wasn't some weird fluke. You're welcome. This is from TU Student Insurance. Hello, it seems that your coverage was terminated due to your decision to strike. Where are all the squad members in Congress in reference to this particular issue? Where are they? You can't do this to these kids. Like, grad school, first of all, in itself is very expensive. I know. And then to tell these kids, oh, by the way, we're cutting off your health insurance. What has this country come to? You see what happens when the oligarchs are in charge? You see what happens? Let me go to some of the comments here. Shout out to Blue Moon Red Wine. Lucy joined the NYC Heckling Coalition. That's right. Pieced of Temple using Walmart tactics. Jonathan Cooper, also the area around Temple University is going through gentrification. They tore down a housing project next to campus and a lot of Black residents can't afford to live there. And there you go. And a lot of the universities have been doing this. My alma mater, Northeastern University here in Boston, did the same thing. They bought the YMCA. So the people who live in the community, grew up in the community, they no longer have a YMCA to go to. The university just bought it. I'm going to buy this building, more university space. Screw the people in the community. I'm going to buy up this apartment building. I know you lived here all your life, but you got to go. Northeastern University needs this building for more dorms for our students. Papa New, get him in. Sabby Sabs, there is a chance that the university is breaking the law. I wonder. Screen Arts Media, these schools are fat with cash. Yes, they are. The Oracle says, like Professor Wolf said, not for profit is a misnomer. Thank you for the super chat, Snork. Financial hold, you can't get transcripts either. That's right. They'll hold that from you too. Thomas, this is why I went to trade school and bought books on eBay to study for certification. The cost of universities is insane. Yep. Janice, last I checked, extortion is a crime. Temple literally committed extortion. The students should get a lawyer and file a class action lawsuit. That's what I'm saying. I'll take that comment on Rockfin, Eric. Class action lawsuit. Thank you for the tip on Rockfin, Roger. Just like how the Zoomers are learning from the millennials when it comes to war, and now military recruitment is down, they will soon learn from them on this, and we will soon see college admission down. Sab, I just looked up Temple. I thought it was a private college. That college is public, AKA a government college. There has to be some form of leverage they can use as a violation of constitutional rights. And thanks for this tip as well. Even though PA is not a CBI state, apparently Philadelphia allows for local ballot measures. This has to be something they can do. That's good to know for people listening. Any of you that live in Philadelphia, apparently you can do local ballot measures there. Good to know.